let me show you how my husband and I got on a budget. I'm gonna teach you 3 principles tonight, and I'm also gonna show them to you on this beautiful wall back here. Hello, Zoomers. I'm gonna show you how to make your budget. We're gonna do it 3 ways. We're gonna be detailed, realistic, and flexible. That's how we're gonna make a great budget that is a plan that's not a punishment, okay? Now, whenever I build these budgets, I always have a buddy backstage. His name is Bobby. He's behind the scenes in the internet, and he's gonna bring up every dollar on our beautiful Zoom wall here so that you can see it. For a lot of you, you might be seeing it for the first time. So let me give you an orientation to what you're seeing. Right now, that little left column over there, I don't want you to worry about that at all. Matter of fact, completely disregard that, okay? And then over here on the other side, you can disregard that column for right now, too. I want us to focus our attention to the center because that's where we're talking about right now, okay? Because in the center, that's where the action happens. We've got our income on the top, and then at the bottom, it's all of our expenses. And at the end of the day, that's really what a budget is, right? It's your income minus your expenses. So when we're talking about doing a detailed budget, we're talking about filling in these numbers with detail, okay? So at the top, Bobby, show them where the income is. So right there, you'll see it's kind of defaulted, her paycheck, his paycheck. It doesn't have to stay like that. You can add more, okay? If you're a person who gets, 4 different paychecks or 6 different paychecks, you can add all those in. It's very customizable. And you can also customize your expenses, right? Because I told you before, on the budget, you want to plan every single dollar, meaning you're thinking of everything you could possibly spend money on, okay? So let's just go through here. It looks like it's got everything covered, Bobby, but wait a minute. What about doggy daycare? Let's add that in there, right? Because that's something that's important to us. We want to spend money on it. And maybe yours isn't doggy daycare. Maybe it's a hair appointment that you have, or maybe it's, you play golf on the weekends. Whatever it is, you just add it to the budget, okay? In that first budget, you want to be detailed because we really want to get a picture of what's going on in our life. So we added those line items. Everything's looking good, but something I noticed here, we're up in the red. If you notice up top here, underneath January 2025, we can see that we're in the red, but that's okay. That's okay because that brings me to our next point. We want every budget to be realistic. Okay? So when you start doing that budget and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm in the red, don't let it stop you. Keep going because we want to get a realistic picture of what's actually going on so that we can fix the problem, right? And so being realistic with the numbers that you put in here is so important. Listen, you can't be 40 years old with 40 kids listen, don't have 40 kids. You can't be 40 years old with 4 kids trying to squeeze into a 26 and single budget, okay? It's just not gonna work for you. So be realistic, even if you're in the red, okay? And now you might be saying, okay, well, Jade, what am I supposed to do if I'm in the red? There's 2 different things you can do. Number 1, easy, let's just cut some expenses, right? Every budget has things that we need and the things we want, okay? So we're gonna cut some of the things that are wants. We don't need them. So Bobby, let's see what we have here. Subscriptions. Can you do without Hulu? Can you do without Netflix? I think you can. I know that you can. So let's get rid of that $55. That cleared up some of the money right there. You might need to clear up a little bit more. You wanna know what I suggest? Raising your income. And most of us do that by side hustles, okay? I'm just telling you right now, if you're trying to get out of debt, having a side hustle is part of the get out of debt starter kit. It's just part and parcel to the deal. So let's add a side hustle on there, Bobby, and let's do it for $500. Now, you might be thinking, Jade, how am I supposed to make $500 extra? Let me tell you something. We do webinars all the time to coach people on their budgets. And we always ask people, hey, what do you do for a side hustle? And we ask them to put it in the chat. We find that people they're making $1,000, $1,500, $2,000. They're making bank on side hustles. Matter of fact, if you're watching this right now, why don't you throw in the chat, just put it in there for people to see. It might be scrolling really fast, but that's okay. Let people see what you're doing and what you're making and give them some ideas because in 2025, we need to make some money, okay? So when we added that side hustle, look, all of a sudden, the numbers are black, $466. That means that's an overage. That's money we have left to spend, which is excellent, okay? So we've got our budget here. It's starting to work for us. Now the other big question is, okay, Jade, I got the thing. How am I supposed to stick to it? Okay? And I know what the TikTok influencers and the finfluencers are telling you. They're saying, at the end of the month, just close out your budget. At the end of the month, It's over by then. The spilled milk is there. That never works. Do not wait till the end of the month to close out your budget. The key to sticking to your budget is tracking your transactions in real time as they're happening. And we can do that in every dollar. So, Bobby, now let's take a look at this other side of the screen where our transactions are. Anytime we spend money, it's going to go automatically through Bank Connect into our every dollar budget, which is so helpful because guess what? If I told myself, hey, I'm only going to spend $200 on restaurants, next time I go to Subway, which it'll never be me, but if you go to Subway, listen, all you do is track it in there and it will tell you, okay, here it is. I'm tracking my expense. Now, next time I go out, I know I only have $173 to spend. It's as easy as that, okay? And I love with every dollar, it gets kind of smart because after a while it says, oh, you go to In-N-Out? That must be a restaurant because you're always tracking it in restaurants. And so that's how that works. After a while, tracking your transactions, let me tell you, it's like 2 minutes of your day. But that 2 minutes is how you stick to your budget. It's how you take control of your money. It's how you get out of debt, okay?